Get ready to uncover jaw-dropping secrets that the golden age of Hollywood tried to keep under wraps. From a heartthrob's tangled affairs to a dazzling icon's legal missteps, these scandals challenge the notion timeless stardom can absolve all wrongs. Watch till the very end as we shed light on every revelation. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin's iconic persona, the Tramp, immortalized him as a genius of silent film comedy. Behind the whimsical bowler hat and cane, however, lurked scandals that underscored the turbulence of his personal life. Despite making the world laugh, Chaplin became entangled in multiple public controversies, tarnished his public image. One of the most talked-about aspects of Chaplin's life involved his relationships. He was married 4 times, with each marriage drawing significant media attention. Critics were quick to call out the marked age differences between Chaplin and some of his partners. The controversies escalated when legal cases emerged, including paternity suits that made headlines and had audiences questioning the real nature of the comedic legend off-screen. Moreover, Chaplin wasn't free from political scrutiny. His outspoken views and rumored sympathies toward certain ideologies drew suspicion from U.S. authorities. Hollywood's golden era wasn't always forgiving, and Chaplin's image took a hit from these controversies. Still, his films continued to captivate global audiences, demonstrating that his artistry transcended the negative press. In time, Chaplin moved to Switzerland, where he spent his later years. Although his legacy largely revolves around pioneering comedic cinema, these personal controversies remain an indelible part of his complex story. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford epitomized Hollywood glamour, starring in classics like Mildred Pierce and Grand Hotel. She earned critical acclaim and legions of admirers for her steely determination and elegant style. But much like the fierce characters she played on screen, Crawford's personal life was rife with drama, culminating in stories that continue to spark debate even decades after her passing. The biggest cloud hovering over Crawford's legacy is the conflict depicted in the memoir Mommy Dearest, authored by her adopted daughter, Christina, into pop culture. While some have questioned Christina's claims and pointed to conflicting accounts from Crawford's other children, the allegations remain a staple of the star's posthumous reputation. Beyond these familial disputes, Crawford was also known for her intense professional rivalries. Industry lore is filled with tales of on-set tension and deep-seated jealousy that fueled one of Hollywood's most storied feuds. Some claim their rivalry was partly a publicity stunt to drum up ticket sales, but others believe the animosity ran deeper. Joan Crawford's shining career continued through personal storms. She left behind a filmography that endures in cinematic history. Still, her off-screen conflicts serve as a stark reminder that behind the graceful red carpet appearances lies a Hollywood, both dazzling and painfully human. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn remains synonymous with swashbuckling adventures and charming rogues. Films like The Adventures of Robin Hood solidified his place as the dashing hero of Hollywood's golden era. Despite his cinematic heroics, Flynn had a real-life reputation for revelry and scandal that clashed with the noble characters he portrayed on screen. A free-spirited bon vivant, Flynn was known for lavish parties that frequently made tabloid headlines. The highest-profile scandal came in 1942, when Flynn faced legal charges involving 2 underage accusers. While the case gripped the nation, ultimately resulting in a verdict of not guilty, the public's fascination with Flynn's personal exploits never waned. For some, he remained the charismatic star who could do no wrong. For others, the trial cast a permanent shadow over his dashing persona. Additionally, rumors swirled about Flynn's finances and dealings with certain acquaintances, fueling theories about his personal motivations and alliances during a tense period of global politics. His affinity for travel and friendships with questionable figures led to speculation about espionage. Even after his passing at 50, Flynn's legend endured. Stories of his escapades, from romantic entanglements to lavish spending, continued to intrigue film buffs. In many ways, Errol Flynn exemplified the Golden Age star, charming on-screen Judy Garland. Judy Garland captured hearts worldwide with her portrayal of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Her remarkable voice and undeniable talent illuminated both stage and screen for decades. Despite her professional brilliance, Garland's life was deeply affected by stressors. From a young age, Garland was thrust into the limelight by a studio system more interested in maintaining profit than safeguarding its stars' well-being. Executives placed her on strict diets and allegedly provided stimulants to manage her grueling schedule. Alongside professional pressures, Garland's personal life suffered. Her multiple marriages, some of which ended acrimoniously, showcased her ongoing quest for emotional stability. Fans were often quick to forgive, understanding that the same system that took advantage of her youthful appeal. In the last chapters of her life, Garland struggled with health problems and financial woes. Her tragic passing in 1969, at age 47, left the entertainment world reeling, and tributes poured in from around the globe. While some might label her story as a cautionary tale of stardom, countless fans maintain that Garland transcends her troubles, standing as a symbol of resilience. Her voice continues to remind audiences of both the magic and the price of Hollywood's golden age. Spencer Tracy. Spencer Tracy's commanding presence and masterful acting talents earned him a reputation as one of Hollywood's greatest leading men. Starring roles in films like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and Captain's Courageous, won him critical acclaim and multiple Oscars. However, amid the universal praise for his work, Tracy's personal life was often overshadowed. One of his most well-known relationships was an enduring romance with Katharine Hepburn. Although the pair never married, he spent significant time with Hepburn, forging one of classic Hollywood's most iconic pairings. Additionally, Tracy battled internal conflicts that manifested in heavy drinking and, at times, periods of depression. Many who worked with him described him as a consummate professional who would command the set with subtlety. Tracy's attempts to reconcile his devout upbringing with the realities of his personal life was a star simultaneously revered for his impeccable acting and plagued by the weight of secrecy. Hepburn, who often shielded him from public scrutiny, remained a loyal companion until his final days. Yet for all the hush-hush arrangements and carefully managed publicity, the layered truths of Spencer Tracy's life eventually surfaced in biographies and retrospectives. Lana Turner. With her stunning looks and screen presence, Lana Turner was the epitome of 1940s and 1950s film glamour. Dubbed the sweater girl early in her career, Turner headlined popular films like The Postman Always Rings Twice and Imitation of Life. Even her brightest performances weren't immune to the glare of scandal. One of the most sensational episodes surrounding Turner involved the fatal stabbing of her boyfriend, Johnny Stompanato, in 1958. The incident took place at Turner's home, with her teenage daughter, Cheryl Crane, at the center of it all. The subsequent legal inquest concluded that Cheryl had acted to protect her mother, and Turner was cleared of wrongdoing. Nonetheless, the story dominated headlines, with sensationalist speculation swirling about Turner's relationships. Turner was known for multiple marriages, which seemed to reinforce a perception of chaotic personal affairs. Each new relationship ignited more gossip, reporters eager to expose any perceived hint of impropriety. While the studios preferred to present Turner as a glamorous star, these personal sagas painted a much more complicated portrait of a woman frequently caught in difficult circumstances. Despite these controversies, Turner's enduring appeal on film remained substantial, and her fan base stayed loyal through thick and thin. Lana Turner's life stands as both a testament to the illusions of Hollywood marketing and a reminder that behind the curated red carpet persona, Marian Davies. Marian Davies rose to stardom in the silent film era, her comedic timing and charisma making her a favorite among audiences. She was best known for her long-term relationship with publishing magnate William Randolph Hearst. While Davies certainly had the talent to stand on her own, her connection to Hearst fueled rumors and controversies cast a different light on her career. One of the biggest points of contention was the lavish lifestyle she enjoyed at Hearst Castle, a sprawling estate that became a playground for Hollywood's elite. Davies's successful film roles were simply financed by Hearst's influence, overshadowing her legitimate comedic. Even more salacious were persistent whispers about the couple's behind-the-scenes feuds. A major scandal also erupted in 1924 aboard Hearst's yacht. In a tragic turn of events, film producer Thomas Ince fell gravely ill and passed away soon after. Though overshadowed by her relationship with Hearst, Marian Davies left behind a legacy as a comedic talent. She later used her fortune for charity, endearing herself to many who saw past the controversies. The specter of scandal remains part of her story, illustrating how personal alliances and media power can complicate an otherwise promising career. Ingrid Bergman. Ingrid Bergman enchanted audiences worldwide with iconic performances in Casablanca and Notorious. Revered for her radiant on-screen presence, the Swedish actress exemplified grace. But as the 1950s dawned, Bergman's private decisions quickly spiraled into a public relations tempest. Her scandal centered on a very public affair with Italian filmmaker Roberto Rossellini, while she was still married to Dr. Petter Lindström. Bergman's decision to leave her marriage and start a new life with Rossellini sparked a sensational uproar. Bergman, who had built her reputation on wholesome roles, found herself effectively ostracized from Hollywood. For several years, she remained in Europe, making art house films with Rossellini, while tabloids in the States covered the story incessantly. Despite the harsh reaction, Bergman eventually garnered renewed acclaim, winning another Academy Award for her performance in Anastasia. Over time, public sentiment softened, and Bergman returned to Hollywood's good graces, proving that talent could eclipse scandal. Ingrid Bergman's story endures as an example of how personal choices can cast a long shadow, how determination and artistic excellence can shine through the darkest controversies. Robert Mitchum. Robert Mitchum's laconic demeanor and signature sleepy-eyed charisma made him a film noir staple, shining in classics like Out of the Past. His tough guy persona wasn't just for the camera. Mitchum was notorious for run-ins with the law, lending real authenticity to his rugged screen image. In 1948, Mitchum's arrest during a narcotics raid rocked Tinseltown. Caught at what authorities labeled as a Hollywood party, Mitchum faced legal ramifications that led to a brief stint behind bars, forcing studios to scramble in damage control mode. His fans remained surprisingly loyal, perhaps intrigued by the rebellious streak that mirrored the anti-heroes he portrayed. Mitchum's irreverent attitude toward authority often found its way into his interviews. He famously downplayed his arrest and incarceration, at times cracking jokes about his time in jail. This swagger fed into his mystique, blurring the lines between the real man and the characters he embodied. While many stars of the era fought to maintain a pristine image, Mitchum leaned into his bad boy reputation with a certain insouciance rarely seen in golden-era Hollywood. The actor continued a prolific career, landing acclaimed parts in The Night of the Hunter and later projects that demonstrated his astonishing range. Despite industry gossip labeling him reckless, Mitchum never fully lost the audience's fascination. His legal troubles, once portrayed as a career ender, instead became part of the legend. Loretta Young. Loretta Young was the embodiment of elegance in Hollywood's golden age, starring in over 100 films and later hosting a successful television anthology series. With her refined beauty and devout, she projected an image of classic virtue. Yet Young's real life included moral complexity and decisions she worked diligently to keep private. The most famous secret involved the birth of her daughter, a child whose father was rumored to be Clark Gable. At the time, extramarital relationships were considered taboo, and the Hollywood studio system meticulously concealed scandals that might damage star power. She publicly claimed she had adopted the child. Although rumors circulated in industry circles for years, Young did not speak openly about the topic until much later in life, finally confirming what many had long suspected. Fans who had admired Young's wholesome persona were initially rattled by the news. Her genuine devotion to her faith and her emphasis on charitable works remained strong aspects of her public image. Despite the behind-the-scenes complications, Loretta Young continued to hold a cherished place in the hearts of moviegoers. Her graceful performances and philanthropic contributions outweighed the shock of the revelations that eventually surfaced, demonstrating how a star could navigate scandal in an era deeply preoccupied with moral appearances. Rock Hudson. In the 1950s and 1960s, Rock Hudson was the epitome of the romantic leading man, starring alongside Doris Day in light-hearted rom-coms and tackling more dramatic fare in films like Giant. With his chiseled good looks and easy charm, he was the dreamboat of countless fans. His personal truth remained hidden within an industry that was far less accepting. Behind the scenes, Hudson was navigating life as a closeted gay man. Hollywood's rigid expectations of masculinity and widespread social stigma meant that any public revelation about his orientation, studios took measures to ensure the secret remained under wraps. It wasn't until the mid-1980s, when Hudson publicly acknowledged that he had been diagnosed with a serious illness, that his private life received worldwide attention. In that moment, he became one of the first major celebrities to reveal his diagnosis, shifting public perception and sparking broader conversations about acceptance and health issues. The outpouring of support from co-stars and fans alike indicated a turning tide of compassion. Hudson's story is emblematic of how Hollywood's golden facade sometimes masked real, lived experiences. While many fans were shocked, Rock Hudson remains a symbol of the tension between public persona and private reality, illustrating the difficulty of concealing one's true identity in a fishbowl industry eager to define stars on its own terms. Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle. Fatty Arbuckle was once among Hollywood's first comedic superstars, a heavyweight in both talent and box office clout during the silent film era. His slapstick style set the stage for future giants of comedy, and he earned a legion of devoted fans who adored his larger-than-life persona. Arbuckle's career derailed dramatically in 1921, when he was implicated in an incident following a party in a San Francisco hotel room. An aspiring actress, Virginia Rapp, became ill and later passed away under mysterious circumstances. Media outlets seized the narrative, painting Arbuckle as the villain in sensational headlines. He was charged with wrongdoing and put on trial. Despite going through 3 court proceedings, with 2 ending in hung juries and the 3rd exonerating him, the damage was done. Fueled by scandal-hungry tabloids, had already passed judgment, while Arbuckle was ultimate. Declared not guilty, the outcry led to his films being banned in certain regions, and the moral crusaders of the era used the case as an example of Hollywood's decadence. Though he attempted comebacks, directing under a pseudonym and trying to rebuild his brand, stigma persisted. Even after his name was cleared, he never fully regained his previous status. Tragically, Arbuckle passed away in 1933 at only 46 years old, just as he was beginning to find new opportunities. His case remains a stark reminder of how public perception, press narratives, and legal controversies can converge to ruin a life and career. Jean Harlo. Jean Harlo, often called the blonde bombshell, captivated audiences with her vivacity and charm in hits like Red Dust and Dinner at 8. She became a symbol of the pre-code era's flirtatious spirit. A star whose playful, confident screen presence reshaped standards of female allure in Hollywood. Yet behind this magnetic persona lay a whirlwind of scandal and personal tragedy that left many fans unaware of the complexity of her world. Harlo's personal life included a string of turbulent relationships. Her second husband, Paul Byrne, was found dead under mysterious circumstances in their home just months after they married. Though the official verdict was that Byrne had taken his own life, rumors persisted that critical details were being concealed by studio executives. Despite these swirling controversies, Jean Harlo continued to shine in front of the camera. Tragically, she passed away at only 26, succumbing to kidney failure. Her untimely death shocked the film industry, which lost one of its brightest comedic and dramatic talents at the height of her fame. Even now, Harlo's name remains synonymous with glamorous risk-taking and the fragility that fame can mask. Tula Bankhead. Tula Bankhead was a force of nature, dominating both stage and screen with her deep, smoky voice. A star on Broadway before transitioning to Hollywood, Bankhead's brazen personality became a hallmark of her fame. Yet, that same boldness often led her straight into controversy. One of Bankhead's most notable challenges was her struggle with vices, including substance use and heavy partying. She flouted the social norms of her era, openly discussing topics that were considered taboo. Rumors of romantic entanglements with both men and women swirled persistently, particularly in polite society circles that were taken aback by her candor. In a time when the industry preferred carefully curated images, her film career, highlighted by performances like the one in Alfred Hitchcock's Lifeboat, was overshadowed by her flamboyant off-screen antics. She angered some within Hollywood's establishment who viewed her as unpredictable and unmanageable. While she never fully became a box office staple, Bankhead remained a magnetic figure in the public imagination. Fans found her fearless approach refreshing, while critics called her brash and unstoppable. Her name conjures up images of an artist who lived life on her own terms. Though controversy sometimes sidelined her mainstream success, it also fueled her legend, solidifying Tula Bankhead as one of the golden era's most vibrant and delightfully rebellious personalities. Montgomery Clift. Montgomery Clift possessed an emotional depth in films like From Here to Eternity and A Place in the Sun that enthralled audiences and critics alike. A reluctant star, he preferred to keep a low profile despite his massive success. Yet behind his introspective demeanor lay a series of personal struggles that turned his life story into one of Hollywood's saddest cautionary tales. Clift's close friendship with Elizabeth Taylor attracted media speculation, though the two maintained that they shared an unbreakable bond rooted in mutual support rather than romance. The real turning point in Clift's life, however, was the catastrophic car accident in 1956, after leaving a party at Taylor's house. Already grappling with personal conflicts, Clift found solace in substances, a struggle that deepened as he attempted to manage physical pain and emotional burdens. Despite these challenges, his on-screen performances remained riveting. Observers noted that his later roles captured an intensity that reflected the adversity he faced off-screen, led to his untimely passing at the age of 45. His short yet remarkable filmography left an enduring stamp on Hollywood, influencing countless actors who admired his ability to convey vulnerability and raw authenticity. In the end, Montgomery Clift's story underscores the high stakes of stardom during the Golden Era, illuminating how even the brightest talents can be weighed down by hidden turmoil.